Hey folks, John Thompson, Spring Framework Guru. So in this module, we're going to look at configuring MySQL. Now, I'm going to assume that you already have MySQL installed on your local machine. If you do not, go out and Google on how to install that. There's ample documentation on the internet on how to install MySQL. I'm confident that you guys will be able to do this. We do need to have it running locally because we're going to be working with the MySQL database in this one. I'm not covering it because it is extremely well documented. I'm running OS X. I have it installed locally on my machine. You might be running Linux or perhaps even Windows or some flavor of Windows. All those installations of MySQL are going to be a little bit different, specific to the OS. So if you don't have it, get it installed and then come back to this video. And I'm going to show you how to go to the command line and start up MySQL and install. We want to create a specific database for our use within MySQL. So I'm going to go over to the command line in OS X and do that now and show you how to set up the database. Okay, I have a command prompt up, and what we want to do is we want to go in and type MySQL -u root, and that's for the user root. Hit enter, and it's going to take us to MySQL command prompt. And what we want to do is come in and say create database, and I'm going to call it Spring Guru, and this is the database that we're going to use. And in SQL, you have to terminate your statements with a semicolon, and now our database is created. And that's really all we have to do is get that database set up. And that's now a valid database within MySQL for us to work against. Okay, in this section, I showed you how to create a new MySQL database, and this is under the assumption you already have MySQL installed on your system. I went in from the command line and showed you how to do that and to get into MySQL and create a database. It's a pretty simple command. Now, what I did not do in this module is I did not get into database security. If you're running this like on a QA server or something, you definitely want to set up a service account for the Spring Boot application to use. In this case, we're going to use the root user, which is technically a bad practice, but at this point, I don't want to get into MySQL configuration and getting into some advanced stuff as far as setting up user security in MySQL. That's a little outside of the scope of things that I want to get into in this course. But with that said, I just want to make you aware of the best practice to use a service account. In this case, we're running on our local machine. User is going to be okay for our purposes going forward. I really want to be focusing on configuring Spring Boot and how we set that up to connect to a MySQL database locally.